normal self, and life is good. I'm going to be cooking a lobby. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is actually get the lobby started, because it's going to take about 20-35 minutes to cook in total. So I want to get it in and start cooking before we do anything else. I'll talk about what a lobby is, and we can go from there as soon as it's cooking, because we're going to have quite a while to talk. A lobby is a regional stew. It doesn't have a specific recipe. Every household will have a different version of the lobby. It is a regional stew from the area of Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire, where I live. So, first things first. I have my Instapot here, my pressure cooker that I'm going to put in its unit once everything's in. So first things first. I'm going to put carrots in. Put some carrots that I cut up. I prepared a little bit beforehand. I'm going to put some onions in. So that's carrots and onions. I just put them up pretty chunkily because I like that. Next, I'm going to put some mushrooms in. This is some of the mushrooms that I used with something I was cooking for the day. So mushrooms will go in, use up the rest of the mushrooms. This is going to be probably almost, I wouldn't say a week's worth of food, but it's going to do quite a few meals. I've got my pots that I will put some in and freeze once the meal's done. There's going to be a lot more in here than what I personally eat in a day. And I don't want to waste any, so this will be defrosted on other days for different meals. So mushrooms going in. So that's carrots, onions and mushrooms. These are just the ingredients I'm putting in today. As I'll explain once this is cooking what a lobby is, and while the recipe for lobbies vary all over Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent. Right, so that's the mushrooms in. Now, potatoes. I'm not going to peel the potatoes. I'm just going to put them up in a not very safe way. But if you're ready, you can peel them if you want. Personal choice on the peeling. Bad idea to do it this way, but it is the way I'm used to it. And just quartering them and then slicing them. Not quite cubing them, but you should be able to see them in there quite fine. There's no measurements. Hello, jellyfish. No, you didn't. All I've done is put in carrots, sliced, onions, and I'm just doing the potatoes now. Just cutting them up. Got some mushrooms in there as well, but we haven't actually started and we haven't talked about the lobby yet or what it is. We're going to do that once it's actually cooking. So all I'm doing is we've got one more potato in here. Like I said, this is probably a week's worth of meals now and then. I'm going to freeze some of it. So let's some people don't like the potatoes when they're still in their skins, but I do. So I always do potatoes with the skin on. So there, potatoes are on there as well. I don't peel potatoes, I never have. And most of the taste from a potato is in the skin. And as long as you clean them, you've got actual, it's no harm and it's actually good for you. The fibre is in the outer layer. So, we've got potatoes, mushrooms, onions, and carrots. That's the base amount in there. I've got half a tin of boiled potatoes that I used in another recipe, which are going in. I'll explain why we just do it this way once it's cooking. So, I'll add these ones in. Do the actual rest. These have been sitting in my fridge, so these are fine. There. So that's that. Half a tin of chopped tomato from yesterday's. No, the day before. That can go in there. There's no set recipe for a lobby. So we've got all that stuff in there. Then we put some meat in. So the first meat is pork and leek sausages, which I'm just going to cut up into the. So pork and leek sausages, I'm just going to cut them into thirds. These will disintegrate into the food anyway. You can use any kind of meat or no meat at all in a lobby. Completely personal choice. So. Now, there. There, that's the sausages. I'm also going to add some bacon. So bacon and sausages are going to be the meat for this. So, I don't even really need to cut it up because it will just break apart in the actual cooking of it. There. I'll put the rest in. I'm not going to put any salt in this because those ingredients that are going in there do not need salt in it. Just going to wash my hands. Right, hands are washed. Yeah. Hello, Kayla. Welcome. So, what we've got at the moment in the actual dish. Chopped up potatoes with the skin on. Carrots with the skin on, because a lot of the goodness in carrots and potatoes is in the actual skin. Mushrooms and onions. On top of that, six sausages and some bacon. Yep. 6 sausages and a sliced up pack of bacon. So, what do we do next? Now, this is a tip for you. If you are making something like this, oh, that's still okay there. If you are making, let me bring this closer to you so you can see that. Oh, I'm going to over there, yeah. Now, if you are making a stew or something, one of the best things you can put in to make a stock, a base of a stock, is a simple, cheap vegetable soup. A simple cheap vegetable soup will make a brilliant stock for a soup, for a stew. One vegetable soup. I don't need any salt because the soup had salt and I put bacon in there, so no salt needs to go in. I will put pepper in. The amounts that you put on is complete personal choice on this because I know how much I like. So I'll just tell you the ingredients. I won't tell you what the amounts I put in because it's personal. I'm going to put some paprika in this because it does look go nice with it. The mixed herbs. And then some gravy granules. You can use beef stock or whatever, but I'm just going to put some gravy granules in there like that. Now we need add water. How much water? Just guesstimate. I never have an exact amount. Right. So 2 lots. This is about 600 ml. I don't even have to stir it. So, a bit more. And then we'll talk about it once this is done. So, as you can see my Instapot here, all I need to do is transfer this into my Instapot, put the lid on, set it for meat stew, and bump it up to 20 minutes. It only needs 20 minutes. Would actually, let's go above that to 25 minutes. Right. Now that's doing. No need to mix it first at all. You mix it afterwards. With a pressure cooker, if you haven't got a pressure cooker, then you may want to mix it first if you're just doing it on the hob. So just let me move this out of the way so you can see this. I've got one of these here, which is a pork cooked baguette. Pork cooked baguette. I'm going to just put it in the oven here for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and that will cook up. That's a baguette. Okay, so I'm just going to throw away some bits and pieces while we cool. Get rid of all this. Put it away. And we'll talk about it. Right. Now the ingredients. I'll run down the ingredients that I used. Potatoes, carrots, mushrooms, and onions. Sliced up or chopped in any size you like. Whatever. It's personal choice how you like to have things. I like very chunky vegetables. Then you add the meat. Now, you don't have to add meat, or you can put chicken in. It can be chicken, it can be bacon, it can be ham, it can be pork, it can be corn if you're a vegetarian, or any kind of the fake meats can go into it. Fine. Then you add different spices or herbs. I've just put mixed herbs, a vegetable soup as a base stock, Yeah, tofu. Tofu would work well in there. Yeah, tofu for vegetarians. The thing is, let me let me explain what a lobby is and why it's called a lobby. In my area where I live, we are the world centre, or was, for pottery. We are called the pot. It's actually called the Potteries where I live. Wedgwood, Royal Dalton, all of the major pottery makers in the Western world started off in this area. Our canals were built to transport the pottery industry. All of this house that I live in was built in 1926 and was for pottery workers. Outside the door of my house is a scraper built into the wall, because when you come from the pottery works, you will have clay on the bottom of your shoes, and they made it into the houses, these things, so you could scrape your feet. Everything was based on the pottery industry and the coal industry in the area. Now, after the First World War and that, pottery industry was very low paid, a lot of low paid workers, and 8 people to a house, that kind of thing. And during the wars and the depression and all of that, people didn't have much money. Food was rationed. With Germany setting up what they called the ships that stopped the main ships getting through. I can't remember the name of it, but it doesn't matter. There was a lot of very hungry people. And so communities like Shelton and each of the streets in Shelton would get together once a week, once every 4 or 5 days, take out one of those big steel baths that you would see, one of the big old steel baths, into the street or into a main garden, build a fire under it, and everybody would what they call lob, which is a UK name for throwing, lob something in, a lobby. Someone might have an onion, someone might have a potato, someone might have a little bit of meat from the night before. Everybody in the street would put into this lobby, and then they would cook it up, have a little bit of a festival outside, a little bit of a communal party, and everybody would get fed by this lobby. It was a communal comfort food for when people had nothing. And it was shared around the entire town and the entire area. Everybody in Stoke-on-Trent or Staffordshire, if they've lived here a long time, will have their own recipe for a lobby that their grandparents made, that their mother made, their father made. Every house will have a slightly different lobby. That's why you use whatever you've got spare. If you've got spare chicken from last night, if you've got a few spare pieces of leeks or tomatoes, put them in. A lobby has no specific recipe because it is the meal and the stew you make from all your bits and pieces, what's left. If you look at any of the Stoke-on-Trent main eat places, they will have lobby on the menu. A lot of the places where you could order food to be delivered had a lobby as well. This is how it worked. And so it's a great comfort food. Most of these sandwich places and that you see in Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire will have during the winter a lobby on their menu. And the thing about a lobby is this: when you first cook it, it's nice. But as the ages through the day, it's even nicer tasting. It's a well-known thing, and it is actually true, that the second time you have it, because it's infused more and it's thingy over the day, it tastes nicer each time you have it. So that is a lobby. Usually you have bread with it, some dry crusty bread that you bake. I mean, I'm just baking a baguette because then I can chop it up and dip it in the lobby. And I am going to, I'm just watching these. I have these. And what I'll do is once it's cooked and I've had what I want for today, I will fill about 5 or 6 of these and put them in my freezer. And then I can defrost them at a later date and have lobby for my morning meal or whatever. Every time I make a lobby, it's a slightly different recipe. Sometimes I'll add a tin of beans, sometimes kidney beans, sometimes chickpeas, sometimes lentils. It doesn't matter. It's all personal choice, a lobby is. And it's all about what you've got in the house. You can make a lobby completely out of tinned stuff without any fresh veg. You can use hot dog sausages as the meat for it if you want meat in it. You can do anything you want. A tin of ham, slice it up. You've made a lobby. It's just a meal that you lob items into a stew that is regional to Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire because of the community around here over the last 100 years. So feel free to ask any questions. The bread's going to be done in a little bit. It doesn't take long. It's pork baked already, that is. Stop trying to climb up me, Bertie. No, we're just chatting. No. Stop it. No climbing. Stop it. You're being naughty. Let me give you two a sweetie. For a sweetie, you two. Come on. Where's Beryl? Beryl. There we are. You two can have a sweetie. There we are. Sweetie for the dogs. Oh, I can show you something. I've got some bits and pieces here. While we're waiting for it to open, I'm going to setting up this kitchen for videos. At the moment, as you can see, if I show you, this camera is sitting on top of a food packet. This camera is duct taped into a tripod, and so on. It's not set up very well, but I've ordered myself a little tripod here and a little phone holder. So a phone holder on the tripod, so I can use this for the camera over here. It'll just sit over here somewhere and be used for that. That came today while I was waiting for that to come. Yes, I do have. My dad always used to make a lobby, and a lot of the times, you know how Australians have their barbecues? Well, we do the same with a lobby. And I remember my dad having friends over and us having people around. Come on, Beryl, out today. Bertie, out today. And you make a lobby up and then you have friends around, watch something together. Me and Paola did it once as well. We had friends who come visitors who we met online from up down in Worcestershire. And so we had about 6 friends come and I made a lobby. And we had a lobby style cookout and cooking for everyone. And everybody loved it. Bertie, stop it. Stop trying to climb up me. You're being a crazy dog. But that's normal. But yeah, it's real wholesome comfort food because of the way it is with the potatoes and carrots and everything. It's a very warming food. I think it's a bit like how some Asian cultures have a curry that they put together, and the curries that they use all the bits and pieces that they've got left in the house. Feel free to ask me any more questions. You're just waiting for this. There's not much else I can do with this to speed it up. It's got to cook for a certain amount of time. So feel free to ask any questions you want. Punch it. The thing is, if you don't do it, if you don't do the lobby in a pressure cooker, you can do it in a normal pan on the cupboard. I used to have a big 6 litre pan on the oven in the other house because lobby was a good food for Paola. When Paola's kidneys failed, part of the nutritional thing is if your kidneys fail and you go on dialysis, your kidneys are amazing. They're very intelligent and they know what to do. Even the best dialysis is a duct tape approach. It will take out the toxins, but it can't differentiate between the toxins and the food and the vitamins. So you have to go on massive doses of vitamins when you're on dialysis because for the dialysis to be good enough to get rid of the toxins out of your body, it will also take out a lot of the goodness. So Paola had to be on like 3 times the amount of calories a day. And if I was doing a pasta, it had to be with 2 or 3 types of meat in it, or 2 or 3 types. And adding dairy products and cheese had to be done to every meal so that she had enough goodness going in because the fake kidneys, the dialysis doing the job of kidneys just wasn't that. It was just a blunt force trauma type of way effect. It took it all the bad stuff out, but it also took the good stuff. So lobby was a good thing for me to cook for Paola because what we would do, we'd cook it like this or on a pan in the morning, early in the morning, 2 hours on the thing. Once you would cook it, I'd turn it down to a low simmer for the rest of the day. And then Paola or me would just come in here and grab a bowl whenever we wanted it during the day. So it fed us for the entire day. I would say that's done. In fact, I think it's overdone. No, it's perfect. Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay, I need my gloves. Whoa, hot inside there. Let me add that. Yeah, there we are. A nice crispy baguette, which I will dunk into the soup, into the lobby once the lobby is done. Yeah, these gloves. Long ago, I picked up these gloves. These are thermal gloves, far better than an oven mitten because you've got full hand movement. So I use them for barbecues as well, and for when I'm using the fire pit. They're perfect for that kind of thing. I think they go the other way around. Let me put them that way. Yeah, and they've got not asbestos, but thermal lining inside. And it's weird because if this pan here was had been on the oven for like half an hour and was really hot, I could pick it up and hold it like this, no problem at all to my hands. So I love using these. I need to get a new pair of them. They're quite old now, but they still work. So feel free to ask any questions. Put a few things away now that they're not needed. Yeah. No, I need that curtain is a blackout curtain. It stops the sun. When the sun comes round the back of the house, it hits that curtain. So that's a specific double lined blackout curtain. So it stops it. And you don't want anything other than a black curtain when you're streaming and thingy, because it'll reflect the light. If you have light colours, it'll reflect the light into the kitchen and change the lighting. I always like black. Black is my favourite thing. Now, when it comes to vegetable soup, something nice over the black curtain. I suppose I could do something. Vegetable soups. Now this is your standard store-bought, cheapest of the range vegetable soup. The reason I buy these is not because I'm cheap, but because, and this is a tip for all of you, the vegetable soups that are the store brand will have less salt in, usually, and less rich ingredients than the fancy Heinz and that. And that's actually better because these have less salt in than the Campbell's soup or the Heinz soups. And that makes these better for using as a base stock for something like what I've just done, the lobby. And a tomato version of this soup has one of the lowest salt contents, but if you create tomato soup is brilliant for using as a base of a pasta sauce. And so I always buy this brand, the cheapest brand for the store I go to, their home brand, because it's going to be a very basic soup and you don't need it to be too rich if you're going to use it as a base for a thing. I've even used this vegetable soup as a base for a gravy and it makes absolutely gorgeous gravy once you add something to it. That's a tip. It's almost kicking in now. So we can chat about anything here. No, Bertie. No climbing up the Jason. No climbing up the Jason. Bad dog. Crazy dog. No, no, no. Stop it, you doofus of a dog. Bertie's been crazy, as per usual. No. He doesn't listen. Now, my idea is that Bertie isn't hungry, apart from how hungry he is normally. Bertie is just being an attention whore, and he wants me to remember that he's here so that when the food is made, he gets food. Because he's got to make me remember that he gets food here. That's Beryl's in the other room. He's guarding the food because he wants some. Oh, Bertie is a male. He's insulting you now, Bertie. Beryl is a female name. Bertie is a male name. Bertie is a he. Yeah. No, he just wants me to remember that he's there and he's guarding the food and everything. So that when it's ready, he gets some. Because Bertie is very food centric as well as love centric, aren't you? You're food centric. Oh. So, all in all, it's gone really well. This is it's a slow one. That's why we're having a chat at the same time. What's that message? Hello, hello, Danny. I hope you have a good sleep. The lobby and everything is good. Talking to you till Darius. taking a little while longer because it's such a big meal to kick in. And then we're just going to chat until it's done. Of course, if I was doing just a recording, I would pause the recording and come back at the end and say, here's one I made earlier and it's ready. But I prefer to be on here with everyone and chatting. Now, what I want to do in the kitchen is this. At the moment, I've got the HD camera from my laptop, which is really bad. As you can see, it doesn't do a very good job. Does your house? Yes, my front door does. Yes, my front door has a double airlock. As in, it has the hallway door and then the front door. So what I want to do here is this. Sound quality, we're fine. I've got my old USB 802020 Plus sitting right there, and it picks up wonderfully in this room. And I've been testing out this one here. This is one of my spare phones in the house, and the quality of this is far better. The quality of this camera here, the actual phone, is better. So what I'm going to do is set up another phone over here, because I was using these. Let me just grab this. These are the old Logitech C270s. And they're not very good for doing real colours. Do I have a favourite meal? Well, before yesterday, I would have said my favourite meal was just a basic pulled pork on a freshly baked bap soaked in gravy. And that's a nice piece of pork done in the slow cooker over 24 hours with a baked piece of bread from the oven, still warm. Probably fry some onions and mushrooms, all on a bap and with some gravy on top of it. That would be one of my favourite ones. But after yesterday, I would say that yesterday's grilled cheese sandwich with the tomatoes inside it is now my favourite comfort food. Yeah. Pork, and I mean done well, just like completely dissolved almost. So you barely have to touch it with the fork for it to fall apart. A little bit of gravy once it's done to mix in with the juices, and then put it on a nice bap. Now there's two schools of thought with the baps. If you put a layer of butter on the bap, of course the baps don't soak up as much. Or you can forgo the butter on the baps and it'll soak up all the gravy and fall apart completely. And you might just have to eat it with a spoon instead of actually eating it as a sandwich. So that's nice. Oh, there. Just kicking into the point, as you can see over there. Actually, let me adjust this. Let me put this over here. Just I'm just going to. You can see with this camera, you can even see the steam coming out to the top of it as it's about to hit the. There. It's now started its pressure to cooker cycle. But yeah, you're seeing the camera now that is being used on the tripod. But this tripod here is way too big. The legs on it cover the entire floor between there. So it's hard to get to the cooker. So that's why I'm going to use something like this on top of the unit for holding the phone. Far better. And this is one that's got bendy legs. So I can use this. Yes, you can do a chicken in one of those pots. Quite easily. You can do a chicken, cook a chicken in there. This Instapot will do everything. It's got rice, it'll do multigrain, it'll do porridge. You can steam cook with it, you can do yogurt. You can even do cakes in it. You can bake cakes in the damn thing as well. Crazy. The Instapot is one of the best things. Is the left one a steamer? This one? No, this is me. This is my air fryer. That's an air fryer. Very good for doing. Air fryers are bloody wonderful. And next to that, you can probably just see, if I turn this around, my Berkey.
Sorry, I don't.
Alexa, stop. My Berkey, which is my water filtration system. Every bit of water I drink or I cook with goes through the Berkey. So it's got nanometer particle filtered in it. I bought this, show you again, for the boat. When me and Paula went on a boat with a Berkey, you could actually take water out of the canal, put it in it, and it would filter it to a purity level that was safe for humans. Oh yeah. And when I got home, I just decided to put all the water from the house through it for cooking, for drinking, and everything. My dad used to do blobbies in a great big giant, really massive pressure cooker, which was like about 2.5 foot tall and sat on the main burner on the cooker. And the lid was like something out of a submarine. Yeah. A Berkey, the water always tastes nicer after you've done it in a Berkey. The filters, it cost me £600, but let me quantify that. Most Brita filters last for a month. Most of the filtered stuff that you use for your filtering your water lasts months. The filters inside a Berkey will last 6 years, depending on how much you use. Something like 6,000 litres can go through a Berkey filter before it needs to be changed. And you can clean the filters and reuse them in it. I'll show you what they are, the filters in it. I'll put this here. They are the filters up there. The two big carbon filters inside there that everything goes through and then drip down into the bottom area. And they're very good. Yeah, yeah. And you can buy the filters for about £120 for a set. And you can also buy fluoride filters, which fit on the bottom, which will get rid of the actual fluoride out of water if you don't like the fluoride in the water. It will do that as well. But yeah, you can put any kind of liquid water through it. Of course, it won't deal with, there's a couple of items that it doesn't deal with, but if you go to the Berkey site, BERKEY site, they show you, and was verified from all of the different places. Worked really well. It's back over here. Oh, we're waiting 25 minutes for that. I bought it in 2016. And all you do is fill up the top with water. Just grab my normal thingy out of my tap. It holds about 6 litres. And it drips through into the bottom. Gravity fed. Through. Yeah. No, the Berkey stuff is amazing what it does. I still have when I bought it, I didn't realise just how long it would last. So I bought a separate set, and they're still wrapped up in my cupboard. A full set of fluoride filters and a full set of things. Because with Paolo having a damaged immune system, this wasn't that filter, the Berkey filter, was a necessity for when you were on a boat. I mean, you don't know where bottled water comes from. They could just be filling bottled water from a tap in an office. Some of them used to do that as well. Had all this advertisement that clear water and that, and what you were actually getting was water from the tap. No, but he's not that. Yeah. We're in a hard water area here. The water quality here isn't wonderful. This will be fine. Yeah, they come with a lifetime warranty, the Berkeys do. And the filters, right. Okay, yeah, I'll read what it says on here. Okay, so filter removes 99.999% of chlorine, viruses, harmful pathogenic bacteria, cysts, heavy metals, parasites and hazardous chemicals, contaminants and other impurities, while leaving undisturbed the essential minerals your body needs. The Black Berkey purification element formulation has been tested by state and EPA accredited laboratories to exceed an SF/ANC standard 53. Approximate each Berkey element is designed to purify approximately 3,000 gallons of water before needing replacement. 2 elements in a Berkey system will purify filter approximately 23,000 litres, 6,000 gallons of water before replacement is in. recleanable and re-sterilization can be done. 2-year warranty. Pretty amazing for what they do. So yeah. It's one of the things that, I mean, I don't get sponsorship from Berkey or anything like that. You know, I don't do sponsorship. I only recommend items that I've used myself. And the whole point is, we have a water butt in the backyard, a storage device that collects rainwater in that. And I can put that water through this as well. Yeah. So you pay for it. It's like, I mean, actually, how much are they on Amazon now? Let me just check, because I haven't been to Amazon. We've seen them on Amazon before. Well, recently, I bought mine in 2016. So let's go to Amazon and just see the prices at the moment for the Berkey. Okay. The big one is £299, and that's with the filters with it for £300. And the filters themselves for a set of 2 is £115. So 5 to 6 years worth of use out of one set of filters. It's so much better than any that you'll see out there. I mean, I got recommended from a friend in America when I was actually looking for a filter to put on the boat that me and Paola went on the canal with. And this was the one that he recommended that he used himself. And he says, when I got home, I set it up in my house and used it with the water storage system in the backyard. And the water tastes a lot better. And it does taste better going through the Berkey. I mean, I think my second favourite item in the house when it comes to cooking is this. My pan. I love the cast iron pan. I love that damn thing. It's wonderful. But the Instapot is also, I've used this kitchen so much. Why I'm so glad that I'm sharing it with you all. What I wish to have. Oh, what do I want to get at the moment? I was going to get a bread maker, but with that talking to Kayla, I think it's better if I make bread by hand and just bake it in the oven. Yeah, the pans last forever. The same with these Swan. I bought these like 10 years ago, I think. These Swan, a set of 3 Swan. Well, they work on induction, any kind of halogen top, gas, electric, and barbecue. They're certified for using outside on a barbecue grill. But yeah, I've been using them for so long. I don't think there's anything really else I won't get in the kitchen. This is also a favourite of mine. You'll see me using this sometimes. It's getting old now. This is a bamboo spatula. Very strong, brilliant for using on everything. I use this usually when I'm doing any kind of cooking on here, be it chili or making a pasta sauce or anything like that. This gets used. Got this from Amazon a long time ago, and I love it. I actually can tell by the amount of wear on this. It's been well used. Yeah. Have I ever smacked anybody with a pan? Only in game. Only in game. Only in games. Bertie, stop it. No. You can smell the food, can't you? You want this food so desperately, and you want me to remember that you're guarding it with me in here. That you're guarding the food, aren't you, Bertie? And you're looking after me to make sure I'm okay. And I've got to remember that. So that when the food is done, you can have some. Bertie, stop it. No. No more. Well, if there was intrude, would you like to see my weaponry that I have available in the house? Would you like to see my weaponry that I have available at hand in the house at this moment in time? I don't think if it can be classed as a weapon. I don't know whether we should. Yeah, it's actually not really weapons. They're part of my. I can fix stuff. I don't think you should. Oh. I shall describe them. One is my crowbar. I have a crowbar in the house. Just in case zombies attack. Oh, come. We're in the UK. We don't have access to that kind of thing. When I call them weapons, they're really just stuff in the house that, if worst came to the worst, I could use to defend myself. But they're not actual lethal weapons. But they could be used as lethal weapons. Hell, even that's a lethal weapon if you use it in the right way. In fact, that is a bloody lethal weapon. You hit someone with one of these and they're going to have issues, let's face it. Yeah, pandas. No guns in the house except air rifles and air pistols. Because we're in the UK and we don't really have access to any of the stuff. Although you can have a shotgun in the UK, I don't own one. You need to have a proper fighter license for stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I do have. I'll show you my. I've got two types of crowbar, but the one that's what I class as evil, I'll go get it. It's not really a crowbar. It's what we would call a jimmy in the UK. That's one side of it. And on the other side, it's pointed. It's very heavy, and this is used. I actually bought it for my next door neighbour because he had to rip apart and tear apart the house's fencing system in the backyard when he was doing. He's a handyman. He does lots of that kind of thing. So this is a nasty thing, but it's a very good thing for taking things apart. I have an axe and a couple of machetes in the house as well. The funny thing is, my axe and machetes and that crowbar get used far more by my next door neighbour than me. I used to have a wood burning fire in the backyard. No. I used to have a wood burning fire in the backyard, and we've got a huge old cemetery just a little away from me. And during the autumn, a huge amount of wood falls off the trees. So I used to collect the wood, dry it in my backyard, and fuel the cooking stuff in the backyard during the winter. So my axe, well, I call it a hatchet. It's smaller than an axe, and that was used for that. But I don't do that anymore. I don't use my fire pit anymore. Really need to start using my fire pit again. I should do vlogs outside in the backyard. $10 until that's done. So what else would you like to chat about, anyone? We can talk about anything here. Smells nice. Yes, the dogs can smell the food, can't you? You can smell the food, both the dogs can. Yes, Bertie and Belle, I love you both. You're wonderful dogs. No, calm down. You don't have to jump up, Bertie. That's a good one. This is my cupboard full of spices and all the bits and pieces to make food with. There's all the spices and everything in it, and flour, sugar. Oh, I've got porridge in there as well, different kinds of sort, corn flour. I need to do something with this, with the corn flour. I need to use. I've got that in. I've got some polenta in, and I need to make something with the polenta. Got a couple of that before it goes out of date. What's a lobby? Okay, we'll talk about the lobby now. A lobby is a type of stew that is regional for Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent, where I live. And what it came about as, I'll repeat what I said earlier, was in the between the 20s and the 60s, when there was a lot of depression after the war and we didn't have any money, lots of communities in this area, a street would get together with take out a big metal bath, put it in the middle of the street on a fire, and everybody would lob in, as in throw in. Lob is a UK name for throw. Would throw in a potato or a carrot, or they might have a onion spare, or they might have some kind of meat from a meal last night, and you lob it all in and you create a stew, and then you cook it all up, and then everybody in the street can take a bowl for it and everybody gets a meal out of it. This was back when people didn't have much money and all this area was very poor. So every household has their own recipe for a lobby, but lobbies are basically whatever you've got in the house. You put it in you cook it up, you make a lobby. So does that answer that, Ted? Yeah, so the idea with the lobby is there is no exact recipe for a lobby. If you want to make one, you can ham, beef, pork. Mine one at the moment has got some sausage and bacon in, because I had sausage and bacon in the house. It's got carrots, potatoes, and mushrooms and onions in it, because that's what I had in and in it. There is no set thingy recipe for a lobby, and then you put I've used vegetable soup in it as a stock and things like that, but it can be different every single time. A lobby can. It's a very nice comfort food for the winter, and I'm cooking it in an Instacart pot, but you can do it in a big pan on the in the local area during the winter and autumn when it gets cold. All the local sandwich makers shops and takeout shops that are local to the area will have lobby. Even some of the pubs, as their pub grub for the day, as their main meal, will offer to make a lobby. You can grab a bowl of lobby from them and things like that. Yeah, that's the same kind of idea. The curry, the idea of curries, it's the same kind of idea. It's a communal thing. It's a whatever we got in the house at the moment. It came out of this idea of comfort food, stuff that's really nice, but using whatever you've got in the house just to put it together. And this was a part baked baguette that I just finished baking in the oven, which I will just dip that in the actual stew when it's ready. And I'm also going to freeze a lot of it. I'm going to put it in thingies and freeze it in the oven. Freeze it in the fridge. Got lots of these. Pack some of it away. Because there's far more than I'll use in one day. Oh yeah, Yorkshire puddings are gorgeous. And if you get the really big Yorkshire pudding that's got gravy and chicken or something inside it and it soaks in, it's really nice for a roast meal. But lots of areas have got their own idea. This area where I live, the reason we had the lobby was because the potteries industry, which is Wedgwood, Royal Dalton, all are from around here. This house is one of the ones that were built in 1926 to house all the pottery workers. And you can always tell a pottery worker's house or a coal worker's house because outside the front door, even though the houses have changed, they've got these little boot scrapers built into the bottom of the wall at the front door, so you can scrape the dirt from the mine or the dirt from the pottery warehouse off your feet before you go in. They actually built them into the house and so on. But yeah, the idea of the lobby in that was a communal meal that uses whatever you've got. And I know some places have barbecues, but I know in the past, in the 80s and that, my dad used to do a lobby in the morning and then his friends would come round and everybody would have a bowl of lobby while they watched a film or something. Yeah, 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 roast. I'll have to try making a roast, a Yorkshire pudding. I should do another one of those regional ones, and I should do it with this. I'm doing this because it's winter now here, and it's cold outside, and this is perfect food for that kind of weather. 2 minutes until it's done, and then I'll leave it for a few minutes more to ease. We can vent the pressure, but I'll just let it mount on its own. I needed this blackout curtain because the lighting in here is really bad for doing anything like this. Yeah. It's usually eaten as is. You the bread, yeah, I'm using a baguette with it because it's nice and crispy, and it was the only bread I had in, but most people have bread with it. Something that you want something that's going to absorb the liquid. That's going to beep in a second. Then we can see what it's like. We can probably actually vent it. It'll pick it up on the stream and the sound will be real. I'll have to drop the volume on the sound because the sound of the venting will probably overload the mic. Hurt your ears. Come on, 1 minute. Come on, do it. Finish. Beep. And my dad always used to bake a big crusty loaf in the oven when we were going to have lobby, and you just break off a piece of it, and that's what you'd have with the actual lobby. So I'm going to alter the lighting in the system. Alexa, kitchen light off. Right, the lighting's going to go a bit messed up here. Open that slightly. I'll open the back door. Calm down, doggy. You get very excited when the back door opens. Play. Now we will. I may have to turn the volume down here when I do this. Testing 1 2. It's not picking me up that good. Yeah. I need to get some proper lighting in, some diffused LEDs to do streaming. So that costs, it's about £60 to buy the double light system I want. But you can do the same food in the pan, it just takes longer. The only, the only problem with the natural lighting is this. I do most of my streams at 5 o'clock at night when I'm cooking in here. And therefore, if I'm cooking in here, if I stand here at night, it's actually dark outside, so I have to have the lights on anyway. So this is unusual for me to do a stream at 2 p.m. But I can get hold of some really nice natural light LED spotlights so I can use in this room. But they cost. So I'll have to save up for them. I personally like the almost done. Wait for it to finish. But yeah, I do want to start doing more. Well, I'm going to try to do a cooking stream every day. Apart from all my normal streams in the living room, I'll just have to slowly build up the equipment in here so I can do it better. Like I said, I like the 3 different cameras. I like the 3 different views. This camera here allows me to put out ingredients so everybody can see what I'm doing. One of the things with people who do cooking shows is a lot of them are just recorded on YouTube, and it's like you don't see actually what's happening and can be very fake. Whereas everything here is live. That's why I stream it at the same time. If I make any mistakes, it's going to be on camera. Right, that's just about to hit almost completely empty now. Oh, wonderful. I'll wipe it off better later. There we are. Now, right, let's show you the there. You can see the look in there. That is a lobby. As you can see, the potatoes are falling apart. Everything's falling apart in it. Nothing gets stuck to the bottom. It's all just falling apart. And it smells gorgeous. I will be using my ladle. I need to get a better ladle. This is an old plastic ladle, which isn't very good. It's like, it's not very good. It's an empty ladle. I will be using a ladle to get myself, move that out. Yeah, slow cooker to do the same thing would take about 12 hours. A big 8 litre or 6 litre saucepan on your hob would take about 2.5 hours. This took about 25 minutes actual full steam pressure and about 15 minutes for it to get to full steam pressure. So about 35 minutes total for the Instapot. Tomorrow I'm going to do a pasta sauce and pasta meal. It is gorgeous now. I'm going to shut the windows now and the door. And it is cold out there. Well, this seems to work really well. All of this. I just need to make it. The main problem with having these cameras on these kind of tripods is they get in the way. The tripod goes out so far. It's a huge tripod. Look at that. For this one, for the main one. It doesn't make it easy for me to show people stuff like that. Yeah. But the actual image clarity from a phone, a modern phone, is brilliant. Yeah. Put it this way. I used some really cheap beef about a week ago in this. And in 90 minutes, it turned that piece of really not very good beef into the nicest braised beef that just melted and fell apart. And it was absolutely gorgeous. That meat was in this. Really came out so soft and nice tasting in an Instapot. The Instapots are pretty cheap on Amazon at the moment as well. If you look for Instant Pot on Amazon on their Black Friday deals, I think they've got Black Friday deals on these. Some of them are as cheap as like 40 quid and they will do everything. Plus they've got all the safety features. So they're one of the most safety features enabled pressure cookers you can get. Kayla's got one too. Yeah, you've got the newer one, Kayla. Mine's a much older version than that, than yours. As you can see, as I'm leaving it here, slowly thickening up. So the longer I leave it, the more thicker it's going to get, the stew. Yeah. It's like when I use sausages or anything, Kenny. I usually buy the cheapest meat possible because this will, the way these cook. Tell you what's really nice, if you get a gammon, a piece of gammon or ham, and you cook a piece of ham or gammon in this with a little bit of honey, a little bit of spices and that rubbed into it on the outside, and just like 200 ml of water at the bottom. Because for, let me just get some. If you're cooking a joint or anything, you use this. You put the joint on top of this and put this in the bottom so that you can pick it up afterwards. And you just fill it up just to near the bottom with a bit of water. And something like a ham joint, if you put it some with honey and stuff, it will taste like the nicest kind of meat you will ever taste because of the way these cook. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Kayla is allowed to say the F word whenever she wants. I will I. You will hear the F word from me sometimes because the F word is part of our language. Of course, some people overdo using the F word, but Kayla, and if I say the F word, it's because it's a punctuation, it's an exclamation, it's a enforcement of it, it's a strengthening of the next word. It can be used in a very powerful way. People who swear all the time and curse all the time are not using it right, because if you use it too much, it becomes useless. But if you use it in the proper context to, like a hammer blow for the next word you're saying, it can work really well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've got air fryers which cook chips and sausages, and if you want to fry some chicken and that, are amazing for you. And do it without, I use my air fryer most of the time without even using even a bit of spray oil. I cook chips in this without any oil at all. Same with a lot of the things, like when I do potato wedges in my air fryer, just turn it on 20 minutes and it works without any kind of needing anything like that. That plus this duo is like amazing. The two, that is getting so thick now, really nice and thick, the juice for that. So let's go through what I did. Sliced up some carrots, sliced up some potatoes. I didn't skin the potatoes or the carrots because a lot of the taste and the goodness in carrots and in potatoes are in the skin, so I kept them on. Onions, sliced a couple of onions in there, and a couple of mushrooms. Really cheap stuff, nothing major. Then I added a pack of cheap bacon and some sausages that I had in. Cut them up a bit so that they were smaller parts. Then I added a tin of vegetable soup, just the basic vegetable soup as a base for the stock. I did a bit of onion gravy, some herbs, some paprika because I love the taste of paprika in these kind of meals. Some pepper. I didn't put any salt in because the bacon brings its own salt into it, and the soup, the vegetable soup, has salt in, so it didn't need any extra salt. And then I just added about 600 ml of liquid, shut it up and let it go. For it took about 35-40 minutes. Let's check. Yeah, we've been moving. No, I don't use oil. What I did for the air fryer is, let me see if I can find it and find all this. Let me try and find. I've got these. The fryer, well, 1 cal. See, this is the problem with having the light coming from outside. With the light coming from the outside, it darkens the area. Alexa, kitchen light on. Now we need a better type of light in here, but now the light's behind, you can see it. But it whites out me. But not much I can do about that. We'll figure out the lighting in the kitchen. I've got the lighting in the living room really well done. I need to do the same thing for here. But I don't actually use this much at all. It's olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. But I've found that chicken and everything cooks in here and gets really lovely crispy skins. The same with, it doesn't dry out completely. If you just do it in the air fryer, you don't need any oil on it. So yeah, I found that I don't need them. So yeah, I just put stuff in the main basket and off it goes. You can actually cook a joint. I have never tried to cook a joint in the air fryer, but you can. You have to pull it out about every. If you do a joint, I would definitely add some kind of spray now and then on the top so it doesn't dry out too much. You could do a joint in there. About a ham joint. Something like that would go really well in an air fryer. Probably smell gorgeous in the house. I love experimenting. I love using all of this. So feel free to ask any questions before I go about all of this. I don't have to worry about this. That there. Oh, gorgeous looking. Oh yeah, that's a lobby. Of course, you can add things like turnip to a lobby or celery. Those nice lobby. Give it a very distinctive taste. Or swede. You can add those things to a lobby. Well, full personal choice. What vegetables you like. Oh, I have done a pizza making stream before now. But yeah, I tell you what we'll do. Next time I do a shop, I'll order in some naan breads. And I'll do a naan bread with a pizza naan bread, using a naan bread as the base for a pizza. What do you think of that? Should we do that at some point in time? Kayla has some amazing ideas for food, actually. She's the one who showed me to do grilled salad. She's had some amazing ideas. Kayla is one of the best, most inventive food people I know. So is there any more questions? Manufacturers you should stay away from. Well, Duronic is a very good manufacturer of these kind of items, as is the people who make Instapot. Swan was very, very good. The basic Swan set of saucepans that you can still get from Swan are very good quality. I am not a dainty person when it comes to what I use in the kitchen. I'm quite rough with it. I'm not thinking so. Yeah. Staying away from them. I hate to say it, but cheap Chinese knockoff brands. You will see a lot on Amazon. Some Chinese makes are good, but a lot are just copies of what we got. And you can usually tell. Like, I have bought items that both technology and kitchenware from China, and they fall apart within a week or 2 weeks of use. I'll show you what I mean. I don't know, Tower. What country are you in, Jelly? What country are you in? If you're in Duronic, I don't know if you can get Duronic. Duronic is. I don't know whether you can get Duronic. Now I don't know, Tower, but if you can get Duronic do a lot of technology, but they like torches and everything. I've got a blood pressure monitor by Duronic. So Duronic makes very good items. Duronic do. So a Duronic my air fryer is brilliant. I've been using it for ages. All I'm doing is stirring this every now and then. I'm going to sit and eat that in a minute. Yeah, Duronic. Is a good make, and now's a good time to buy stuff on Amazon because there's so much. Watch yourself, baby. There's so much. Bertie, stop it! Stop it! There's so much. What put it? Black Friday bargains at the moment. Some really good bargains on Amazon. So if you're looking for technology or for cooking stuff, now is a good time to grab anything. Especially if you're in UK or Wales, because after January, we have no idea how much import duty or what deals we'll be able to get. So if you want to buy anything, don't wait for the January sales this year. Spend now to buy any item, electronic equipment that you need to buy. That's my ultimate tip. Buy it right now, because after January in the UK, when Brexit hits and we go through with probably no deal, we are going to have lots of tariffs, and some people won't actually sell stuff in the UK. The simple reason is this: at the moment, when we buy stuff, we are buying with the European, which is like 170, I think, 170 million customers worth of buying power. We're going down to 60 million. Okay. So our buying power and our ability to make deals is going to drastically go down. Some countries will not even bother to send stuff up because it's not worth their time, or will get really bad things. And that's just the way it is. Yeah, that's the same one I've got here. I think probably the same one I've got. That's a good price for an air fryer. But yeah, if you want to buy any technology items, anything that isn't made in the UK and you live in the UK, buy it before Christmas. Use your money right now. Join the sales right now. Do not wait till January because we have no idea how much the prices are going to change for everything. Why I built myself a new computer this year, we have no idea how badly we're going to be screwed. That isn't a political question. That isn't a political statement. That is just the fact that we are going to be in a situation where our deals are going to be restricted compared to the size of Europe making their deals. Just the way it is. Simple fact. So yeah, spend now if you need to buy anything. You don't need to buy extra toilet rolls. We make our own toilet rolls. Pretty sure we make our own toilet rolls. Yep. You could fit a whole small chicken in there. It's not for a big chicken. You couldn't put a big family size chicken in, but you could cut the chicken in half and put it in there. Now, any more questions before I go off and my food? I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today because I wanted to wait. So I didn't have any lunch today because this is going to be my big meal for the day. So I'll give you a few more minutes. You probably want a 1.5 litre air fryer, but air fryers don't come in usually huge size because of the way they work. They work better with small amount of stuff. But if you've got a big family and I would go this if you want to split up and cut a chicken in half. It would easily cope with that. Anytime. Ask any questions you want, either here or on my comments for my videos, on my streams. I love helping people out. So, this is Jason for the Quebber channel. Tomorrow I will be doing a pasta at 5 p.m. A 5 p.m. meal, and it will be pasta. I'm going to make my own pasta sauce, which is always a good idea anyway, because you know exactly what's going in it. And so, I will say bye-bye for now.